Hello students, let's start chapter number 14, Chemical Effects of Electric Current. Let's first have some warm-up. In the given picture, a bulb is lighted using a battery. Say how electric current is produced a battery through thermal reaction, through chemical reaction or through mechanical effort. Let's know about: do liquids conduct electricity? Chemical effects of electric current. Some common terms. Electroplating. Let's start with electric current. Electric current is the flow of electric charge through a material. In the previous classes, we have learned about the heating and magnetic effects of electric current. In this chapter, we will learn about the chemical effects of current, conductors and insulators. We have learned about substances that allow the current to flow through them. These substances are called conductors. All the metals are considered to be conductor of electricity, but some metals such as gold, silver and copper are able to conduct electricity better than the other metals. There are, however, some substances that do not allow electric better than the other metals. There are, however, some substances that do not allow electric current to flow through them. Such substances are called insulators or poor conductors. Wood, glass and plastic are examples of insulators. Both conductors and insulators find uses in our everyday life. Is there a way to find out about whether a substance is conductor or insulator? This can be done with the help of an electric tester. The following activity will show you how to create and use an electric tester. If the test sample is a conductor, it will allow current to pass through it and bulb will glow. It means that the circuit is complete. However, if the test sample is an insulator, it will not allow current to pass through it and the bulb will not glow. Do you know why does an electric wire become hot when electric current is passed through it? Let's look on activity 1. Aim: to make an electric tester. Activity to be performed under adult supervision. Things required: cell, torch bulb, connecting wires, iron nail, piece of glass, block of wood, piece of copper wire, rubber band, plastic ruler, a piece of chalk and a piece of nylon cloth. Method: first, make the connections as shown in the given figure. Second, connect the samples of the given objects one by one in the circuit between the free ends A and B and note your observation for each object. Based on your observation, complete the given table by putting a tick in the correct column. In this picture, we are checking the conductivity of different objects by using an electric tester. In this table, put all the observations you have found. Object: good conductor, poor conductor, iron nail, piece of glass, block of wood, piece of copper wire, rubber band, plastic ruler, piece of nylon cloth, piece of chalk, piece of nylon cloth. Electricity conduction through liquids. We have seen that some solid substances conduct electricity but while others do not. Can we say the same thing about the liquid substances? Do liquids also conduct electricity? Let us perform an activity to test whether a liquid conducts electricity or not. Activity 2. Aim: to test the conduction of electricity by some liquids. Activity to be performed under detailed supervision. Things required: cell with cell holder, torch bulb, connecting wires, beaker, distilled water, solution of common salt in water, water from hand pump, solution of sodium hydroxide in water, dilute hydrochloric acid, vinegar, lemon juice and kerosene. Method: first, insert the cell in the cell holder. Second, make the connections as shown in the given figure. Third, take some distilled water in the beaker, dip the free hands of the wire in it for a few seconds. Fourth, observe the bulb glows or not. Fifth, Repeat the activity with the other liquid samples and record the observations in each case. Look at this image. This is the circuit of testing conduction of electricity by liquids. Now, complete the following table and put a tick in the correct column. Liquid sample, good conductor, poor conductor. Distilled water, salt solution, hand pump water, distilled water, few drops of sodium hydroxide, dilute hydrochloric acid, vinegar, lemon juice, kerosene. Remember, after testing a liquid, dig the free ends of the connecting wires in distilled water and wipe them with a filter paper. Also wash the beaker with the distilled water after testing every liquid sample. The above activity shows that when the free ends of the wire are dipped in certain liquids, the bulb glows. These liquids provide the path for the flow of current through them, which completes the circuit of the tester. Such liquids that allow electric current to pass through them are called conducting liquids or electrolytes, and the electrical conduction through them is called electrolyte conduction. There are certain liquids, however, that do not allow electric ends of wire are dipped in such liquids. The circuit of the tester does not become complete, hence the bulb does not glow. Such liquids are poor conductor of electricity. In some cases, however, the bulb does not glow even if the liquid conducts electricity. In such cases, the current generated in the circuit is very weak. This current is not enough to heat the filament of the bulb. As the filament is not heated, the bulb does not glow in order to enable the tester to detect even a weak current. You can replace the bulb with a light emitting diode LED. The above activity also shows that distilled water does not conduct electricity. However, on adding salt, it begins to conduct electricity. This shows that distilled water solution is a good conductor of electricity. Distilled water also begins to conduct electricity when a chemical substance such as sulfuric acid or sodium hydroxide is added to it. Chemical effects of electric current. We have already learnt about heating and magnetic effect of electric current. Let us revise that. The production of heat in a resistor or a conductor when electricity passes through it is called heating effect of electric current, and the generation of magnetic field when an electric current flows through a conductor is known as magnetic effect of electric current. What effect does the current produce when it flows through a conducting solution? Let us find out. Activity 3. Take out carbon rods carefully from 2 discarded cells. Clean their metal caps with sandpaper. Wrap copper wires around the metal caps of the carbon rods and join them to the battery. We call these 2 rods as electrodes. Instead of carbon rods, you may take 2 iron nails about 6 cm long. Pour a cupful of water in a glass plastic bowl. Add a teaspoonful of salt or few drops of lemon juice to water to make it more conducting. Now immerse the electrodes in this solution. Make sure that the metal caps of the carbon rods are outside the water. Wait for 3 to 4 minutes. Observe the electrodes carefully. Do you notice any gas bubbles near the electrodes? Can we call the change taking place in the solution a chemical change? Recall the definition of a chemical change that you learnt in class 7th. In this image, you can see passing current through water. In 1800, a British chemist, William Nicholson, 1753 to 1815, had shown that if electrodes were immersed in water and a current was passed, bubbles of oxygen and hydrogen were produced. Oxygen bubbles formed on the electrode connected to the positive terminal of the battery and hydrogen bubbles formed on the other electrode. The passage of an electric current through a conducting solution causes chemical reaction. As a result, first, bubbles of a gas may be formed on the electrodes. Second, deposit of metal may be seen on electrodes. Third, change of color of solution may occur. The reaction would depend on what solution and electrodes are used. These are some of the chemical effects of the electric current. Thus, the phenomenon of causing chemical changes by passing electricity through a conducting solution is called chemical effect of electric current. In fact, the chemical effect of electric current involves the use of electric current or the electrical energy to bring about the chemical changes in a conducting solution or liquid. The most suitable example to visualize the chemical effect of electric current is electrolysis. So, now let's understand what is electrolysis. It is the process of chemical decomposition of an electrolytic on passing electricity through its molten or dissolved state. Some common terms: conductors and insulators. The substances which allow the passage of electricity through them are called conductors or good conductors, and the substances which do not allow the electricity to pass through them are called insulators or poor insulators or poor conductors or bad conductors of electricity. The conductors can be broadly classified into two categories, namely metallic conductors and electrolytic conductors. Now, let's see what are metallic conductors. These are the metallic substances which allow the passage of electricity through them without undergoing any chemical change. Some common examples are copper, silver, aluminium, etc. The conduction through metal is due to the movement of electrons in the metallic crystal. Besides metals, some materials and graphite are non-metal also show conduction due to the movement of electrons. They are collectively called electronic conductors. Now, let's talk about electrolytes or electrolytic conductors. These are the substances which allow the passage of electricity through their molten stage or through their aqueous solution and also undergo chemical decomposition at the same time. Some common examples of electrolytes are acids, bases, and salts. The conduction through electrolytes is due to the movement of ions produced by the electrolytes in their molten state or in aqueous solution. These conductors are generally referred to as electrolytic conductors. Electrolytes do not conduct electricity in solid state. Now, after gaining a knowledge of above all the topics, let's check and mate. Fill in these blanks by yourself. Let's see the definition of non-electrolytes. The substances which do not conduct electricity either in their molten state or through their aqueous solution are called non-electrolytes. Some examples of non-electrolytes are sugar, glucose, alcohols, etc. Cation and anion. Electrolytes in molten states or in their aqueous solution break up into positive and negative ions. The positively charged ions and the negatively charged ions so produced are called cations and anions respectively. Electrodes. The metallic wire or rod or plate through which electric current either enters or leaves an electrolytic solution is called an electrode. Now let's see what are cathode and anode. In electrolytic cell, electrode at which electricity enters the solution is called anode, and the electrode at which current leaves the solution is called cathode. In an electrolytic cell, anode is that electrode which is attached to the negative terminal of the battery, and cathode is the electrode which is attached to the positive terminal of the battery. Electrolytic cell. The device by which the process of electrolysis is carried out is called electrolytic cell. Now, let's see what is electroplating. Electroplating. The process of depositing a layer of any desired metal or another material by means of electricity is called electroplating. It is one of the most common application of chemical effects of electric current. Electroplating is very useful process. It is widely used in industries for coating metal objects with a thin layer of a different metal. The layer of metal deposited has some desired property which the metal of the object lacks. For example, chromium plating is done on many objects such as car parts, bath tapes, kitchen gas burners, bicycle handlebars, wheel rims, and many others. Chromium has a shiny appearance. It does not corrode. It resists scratches. However, chromium is expensive and it may not be economical to make the whole object out of chromium. So, the object is made from cheaper metal and only a coating of chromium over it is deposited. Jewelry makers electroplate silver and gold on less expensive metals. These ornaments have the appearance of silver or gold but are much less expensive. Look at this picture. Some electroplated objects. Tin cans used for storing food are made of electroplating tin onto iron. Tin is less reactive than iron, thus food does not come in contact with iron and is protected from getting spoiled. Iron is used in bridges and automobiles to provide strength. However, iron tends to corrode and rust, so a coating of zinc is deposited on iron to protect it from the corrosion and formation of rust. Let's see activity 4. We will need copper sulfate and 2 copper plates of size around 10 cm or 4 cm, 10 into 4 cm. Take 250 ml of distilled water in a clean and dry beaker. Dissolve 2 spoonfuls of copper sulfate in it. Add few drops of dilute sulfuric acid to copper sulfate solution to make it more conducting. Clean copper plates with sandpaper. Now rinse them with water and dry them. Connect the copper plates to a terminals of battery and immerse them in copper sulfate solution. Allow the current to pass for about 15 minutes. Now remove the electrodes from the solution and look at them carefully. Do you find any difference in any one of them? Do you find a coating over it? What color is the coating? Note down the terminal of the battery with which this electrode is connected. See this figure? A simple circuit showing electroplating. Let us perform the following activity to understand the electroplating. When electric current is passed through the copper sulfate solution, copper sulfate dissociates into copper and sulfate. The free copper gets drawn in the electrode and connected to the negative terminal of the battery and gets deposited on it. But what about the loss of copper from the solution? From the other electrode, a copper plate, an equal amount of copper gets dissolved in the solution. Thus, the loss of copper from the solution is restored and the process keeps going. This means that copper gets transferred from one electrode to other. In the electroplating factories, the disposal of the used conducting solution is a major concern. It is a polluting waste and there are specific disposal guidelines to protect the environment. So, after reading the complete chapter, we have to summarize our reading in a nutshell. First, the flow of electric charge is called electric current. Some liquids are good conductor of electricity and some are poor conductors. Most liquids that conduct electricity are solutions of acids, bases and salts. The phenomenon of causing chemical changes by passing electricity through a conducting solution is called chemical effect of electric current. Metallic substance which allow the passage of electricity through it without undergoing any chemical change is called metallic conductor. The conduction through metal is due to the movement of electrons in the metallic crystals. Besides metals, some minerals and graphite, a non-metal, also show conduction due to the movement of electrons. Substances which conduct electricity due to the movement of electrons are called electronic conductors. Keywords: electric current, the flow of electric charge. Conductors, materials that allow electricity to pass. Insulators, materials that do not allow electricity to pass. Good conductors, materials that allow good amount of electricity to pass. Poor conductors, materials that allow any some amount of electricity to pass. Metallic conductors, metallic materials to pass electricity. Electrolytes, materials which allow electricity through their molten state. Electrolytic conductors, conductors to pass electricity through the movement of ion. Electroplating, depositing a thin layer of metal on another metal. Thank you class. Now we will meet in another class.